Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting of, August 17th, 2026. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast by local access programming and with remote participation available as provided on our agenda. Is there anybody here recording the meeting? I see no one is. I hereby call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. We'll do a roll call of our members that are present.
Jim Foran.
Brendan Doyle.
Kate Rowland.
Mike Greco.
Marcy LeBlanc.
And Mark Mungem. Thank you very much. We'll now start on our agenda. First item up is reorganization. I've not done this before, so...
So I'll introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Kucher. I'm the Principal Clerk to the Community Development Department. And tonight I would like to open up the floor to a nomination for Chair.
I'll nominate Mark.
Here, I'll second that.
Third. There you go. You're in.
All right. Mark Mungem has been nominated for Chair by Brendan and seconded by Kate. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Marcy LeBlanc, aye.
I'm not voting. And now open up the floor for any nominations for Vice Chair.
I nominate Jim, assuming he's interested.
Yes.
Mark doesn't get a choice. I'd second that.
All right. Motion's been made by Brendan and seconded by Kate to nominate Jim Foran for Vice Chair. Roll call vote.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Marcy LeBlanc, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Thank you.
That's it. That's reorganization. Thank you, Jen. The meeting minutes, we're next up. We're going to, if it's okay with you, go ahead, Brendan.
Could I just ask about the woman who was here last week?
We're getting to
That's a different part of the meeting? Okay. Sorry.
No, that's it.
You're fine.
You want to join? That's it.
Now's a good time?
Yeah, definitely join.
Sure. John Charbonnier, if you can come forward, please.
I hear the chair's extra bouncy.
Oh, great. I feel like the kid at the kids' table at Thanksgiving. So, my name's John Charbonnier. I'm the Community Development Director here in Douglas, and have held...
Can you take Mike's?
Oh, sorry. My name is John Charbonneau, Community Development Director for about 15 months here in Douglas. And to explain what has happened, due to various circumstances, we made the decision to move on from the conservation agent that we had hired, and we are going to repost the position here in the next couple of days, and we're going to go through the process of hiring a shared conservation agent with the town of Sutton. This was a decision, obviously a shared position between the two towns, so this decision had to be made by both towns, and it was. So that's where we stand now, and we will go forward.
Any questions?
How does that process work?
Well, first, the position is going to be posted internally and also advertised on the Mass Municipal website for a certain period of time. I'm not sure exactly how long. I think it's mandatory at least 7 days. It needs to be posted. It'll probably be posted longer than that to give people a chance to respond. And then we will organize an interview team, and we will interview candidates. We will go through the pool of candidates and, depending on how many we get, narrow it down to a number that we'll interview. And sometimes we'll be able to choose someone after the first interview, but sometimes it's a little more complicated and a little bit tougher to decide, so we may have a second round of interviews. So that's how the process is going to go. Part of it depends on how many candidates come forward.
Who's on the interview panel?
Well, that hasn't been decided yet. However, I think it's important in light of what happened with the initial person. I think definitely the conservation chairs of each community will be involved on the interview panel. They weren't the first time around, but I really think it's important that they are. So I think that I will recommend that. So it won't completely be my decision, but that will be my recommendation, that the chairs for both committees are involved in that.
So the new hire will still be split between Sutton and
Correct.
Douglas?
Correct. Yeah, it's a 32-hour-a-week position between the two towns, 16 in each community. and it's a salaried position.
Yeah, as you said the last time, we didn't have any say. We weren't involved in any of the hiring decisions, and as a Concom and as we're working directly with that person, I would advise as well, as what
Yeah.
Brendan said, that somebody from our commission be involved in the hiring process.
I agree. That's important.
All right, thank you, John.
You're welcome. Take away.
All right, next item, I have Ecosystems to peer review NOI for 40B comprehensive permit 30 Southwest Main Street. Possible votes. What's up with that?
So I'll speak on that if you don't mind.
Sure, Jen, thank you.
So right now, we have, the state has sent in a 40B comprehensive permit, the location at 30 Southwest Main Street in Douglas. Right now, it's going through the Zoning Board of Appeals, it's going through the bylaw zoning board process. They are planning on submitting an NOI to us for the September meeting. It's a big development, it's a 40B, and it's in a very wet part of town, so it's why it's coming before us, and I think it's important that Ecosystems do the review on it. It's my recommendation that Brandon's involved in that, and that's what we're voting on tonight.
So, you want me to step out?
Before you step out, Brandon, did you attend a meeting that has already been held in regard to this project? I saw a note from a former meeting minute that said you,
Let me make sure it's the one I think it is.
yeah.
Because I do remember there being like a Zoom meeting among
Yes.
department heads on it.
Okay.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, that's from last year, right?
Yeah.
So this would be 30, right? 30. I don't even know if it had an
I thought
ad.
it was this spring.
Was it this?
It was like in March.
The zoning board webpage, I put any comments from you up there.
Okay.
So it might even be on the webpage.
All right, so then on that,
It was either.
it sounds like, yes, I did. It was an internal meeting with department heads, and I think the applicant as well. And I do remember being asked an opinion or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from my memory of reading the minutes that you, recommended that the Conservation Commission should be able to review the project and have, make a
Well,
review of it.
Yeah, it's not just that, Mr. Chairman. The Conservation Commission, if they're within wetland jurisdiction, the Conservation Commission automatically reviews it because
Okay.
under the comprehensive permit law, ZBA handles the other boards. But Conservation Commission is special. It's a local board, but it really represents the state. So they have to come in separately from the other boards for any kind of conservation issues or, permits, order conditions, et cetera, et cetera. They have to do that separately. So you guys get your own bite at the apple, and you don't have to worry about like ZBA, possibly speaking for you if you don't like that. But what I was saying, if I remember correctly, at the ZBA hearings on it, they have a section on waivers, because the project proponent can request to have, some or all local bylaws and ordinances waived, including conservation. And what happens in other towns that I've been involved with is that a representative from the Conservation Commission is present to, let's say you don't feel that the bylaws should be waived. You would then go to the ZBA meeting to make your case when that particular set of votes comes up. So that's up to you.
Okay. Thank you. John, did you have something you want to add?
Again, John Charbonneau, Community Development Director. So what Brendan is referring to is obviously this was at a time when Brendan was acting in a dual role with the town of 53G consultant, and also conservation agent. So for projects such as this and other large projects that come before the ZBA or the planning board, we hold what's called a pre-application meeting with department heads and with the applicant. And it's a courtesy to developers that we give. It's informal. Excuse me, it's not a public meeting, but it allows the department heads to give the applicant feedback on their conceptual plan. So it tries to ensure that the application and the plans that come forward are as complete as possible. So if there's something missing, or if there's a recommendation from a certain department like conservation or the fire department, they can adjust their plans prior to application, so we don't have to address those during the public hearing process. So that's what Brendan's referring to on that.
All right. Thank you.
I think Kate had a question.
Pardon?
Kate had a question, I think.
No, it was just,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I started, but he answered.
Yep. All right. So I think you should probably leave the room now, because we want to probably vote on this.
I also would have to recuse myself because I'm in a butter. So should I just move over there?
You just move to one of the chairs behind. It's fine. So I guess we are having a vote now to have Ecosystems do our peer review for this project, if that's agreeable to the commission. So
I'm okay with that. He's done excellent work anyways.
same.
we're very familiar with them. I'm definitely in favor of that.
Okay. Want me to make a motion?
Sure.
All right, I'll make a motion to use Ecosystem for peer review for 40B comprehensive permit 30 Southwest Main Street.
A second.
Okay, motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to utilize Ecosystems for peer review for the 40B comprehensive permit at 30 Southwest Main Street. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Rick Greco.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen.
All right. Next up on our agenda is item number 1. An emergency certification was issued for 110 Ledgestone Road, map 110, lot 10.
So if I could, Chair.
Sure, Jen, go ahead.
I don't know a whole bunch about this, as it happened when I was on vacation. However, I grabbed all the notes I could, and the prior agent did already do an emergency certification form. I guess the well failed, and these people who lived on Ledgestone Road were not getting any water. They did get approved through the Board of Health for a variance and an emergency replacement well. So she issued this emergency certification form so they could perform the work without applying for an RDA.
Yeah, because it's emergency.
Right, so it's already been issued, the work's already been done. I think you just kind of need signatures on it, if I'm right.
Did they have
Can
water?
you-
The plan is in there, like I said, the Board of Health is aware, and they gave them the permit for the variance for the well.
Brandon, could you just briefly explain what an emergency notification is and for what types of reasons someone may request an emergency notification?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Well, it's an emergency certificate, that's what it's called, certifications.
Certification.
Yeah, emergency cert is what we call it for short. Emergency is an emergency, right? It's kind of subjective, but it's usually a situation where something is failing and it needs to be fixed immediately. There's usually a public safety component to it, right? And if someone's well is failing and they can't drink, there's a kind of a public safety component to it. This definitely a subjective topic, but it only takes one person, on the board, usually the chair, but if the chair's not available, could be anyone else, could even be the agent. It looks like that's what happened in this case. And once it's issued, basically it's issued, it's valid for 30 days. So the whole idea, if it's an emergency, then you're doing it right away, and you're going to get it done within 30 days. And after 30 days, if it's not done, you have to file. Then it's not a real emergency.
And Jen, you said this work has been done. They've installed a new well, I assume?
I'm assuming they got water back?
Yes.
Do we need to do any sort of check that it's done properly, like a site walk or anything, in order to sign off on it?
Well, it was already done, so, right?
What's that?
Is there any sort of final conditions check or anything?
Nope. Yeah.
All right.
It's one of those things.
You want to send the...
So something we vote on? Or it's already been done and...
One person signed it that's not a commission member, so what you need to do tonight is ratify it. Basically, it's already been done, you're just going to ratify that it was okay to do, and then sign it.
Okay. Want to make a motion to ratify it?
I'll make a motion to ratify for the emergency certificate for 110 Ledgestone Road, map 110, lot 10.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Mike Greco to ratify the emergency certification for 110 Ledgestone Road, map 110, lot 10. Roll call vote.
Jim Farr and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Marcy LeBlanc, aye.
Marcy, you're an associate tonight.
Never
I don't
mind.
think
Take
You're
it
not a
back.
voter tonight,
Rejected.
unless someone else can't vote because of an issue. So. Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you. Next on the agenda, right of first refusal for all of map 269, lot 15, 13.46 acres, and map 269, lot 16, 9.13 acres on Perry Street. The right of first refusal for a portion of map 266, lot 13, 11.17 acres on Southeast Main Street.
Very strict.
Oh, John, this one.
Yes.
Okay, hi, John.
Frequent flyer tonight.
Yeah.
John Charbonneau, Community Development Director. So these are portions of and pieces of property that are being proposed to be removed from Chapter 61A designation. And this is part of the process. They haven't been acted upon by the Select Board yet, but part of the process is to put them before the Planning Board and the Conservation Commission, at least for your recommendation in terms of whether or not the town should exercise its right of first refusal to purchase the properties. So that's why it's before the Conservation Commission tonight. One of these properties, the second one in your packet, has already been before the Planning Board previously, and they voted recommend not to exercise the right of first refusal to buy it. The first one with the larger piece of land have not been before the Planning Board yet. They're going before the Planning Board next week. But I believe the Select Board is going to act on these, I believe, in the next month. They will definitely act on these. So this is part of the process for them to get a recommendation from this body.
Okay. So you said there's two parcels here?
Well, there's two different requests. So the second one in your packet shows the back of rear property from Lot 6. I believe it's Southeast Main Street. Thank you. So the second one, that portion of Lot 13 that shows in the green, that one has already been before the Planning Board, and the Planning Board's suggestion was not to exercise the right of first refusal to purchase it. This first request, which is a little bit more complex, has not been before the Planning Board, but will be before the Planning Board at their meeting on the 26th.
My understanding with these situations that we have a certain amount of time to be able to
Yes.
give a response, or
I believe the time is 45 days, that the select board has 45 days to make their, take action on whether or not to exercise that right.
okay. Do you know how many days in it is, and if we would have time to vote on this at our next scheduled meeting?
When is the next scheduled meeting?
September 21st, in like 2 weeks.
I believe that would be cutting it very close, because considering the fact that we're more than a month away from that right now, I believe you're within that 45 days, but just within the 45 days. So I would recommend that the commission, make a decision tonight, but again, that's not my decision. But again, I think you'd be pushing it right to the limits of that 45 days if you wait until your next meeting.
The reason I ask is that we have this, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that kind of shows an area, but, we can't see, or I can't tell looking at this piece of paper, if, what the resources are, what the vegetation is, what the soil conditions are, to be able to, say whether I feel like is it worth the town purchasing it or not. So
no, what I believe, Mark, is that I believe the time starts ticking when it goes before the select board at their meeting, so they haven't seen this yet. So I believe you probably do have time, because I think the clock does not start ticking until the meeting where it's presented to them. So in thinking about it, I think you probably do have time to wait until your meeting on the 21st, because this is not going before the select board until next week at the earliest. Yeah, so I would say you probably do have time to go to the 21st if that's the case, which I think it probably is.
any thoughts from the commission members as to whether we would want to vote on this tonight or to have an opportunity to look at the land and make a decision?
Probably want an opportunity to look at the land, but I see Brandon has a map up. I don't know if you have any details about it, about the property off the top of your head, but.
They're forested tracks. I don't believe they're built upon.
But yeah, I feel like a little more time would be nice.
So of that piece right there, it's the one in the middle that has it's like a green thing in the middle of it?
That and the one just to the right of it.
Oh, two of them?
Yeah, they're outlined in yellow.
All right, so they border on Perry Street, is that?
Right. You know where all the roadway drainage improvements have been done? Along the stretch, it kind of goes downhill.
Yep.
It gets down the bottom of the hill, and then it takes like a bends to the right. If you're coming from Southeast Main Street, it's the first two lots there on the right.
Can I ask a procedural question? So if we recommend, we're either recommending the town buy it or not buy it, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Even if we do recommend the town buy it, doesn't mean that they will
Right.
or want to, but it would just be our recommendation, that's all.
Now, there is a possibility that in waiting until the 21st, the select board may act on this before your meeting on the 21st. That would be at their discretion. So I can't guarantee they won't act on it in the meantime.
And is the builder essentially going to buy it from the town?
Well, no, he doesn't have to buy it from the town. This is owned privately, but it's under Chapter 61A agricultural designation. So this is part of the process to remove it from that designation to be able to build a residential property on it.
Okay.
Now, in my experience, I've never been a part of a town that has actually acted on that right of first refusal, and simply because towns, unless they've adopted the Community Preservation Act and have the money sitting there to buy property, they usually don't act on it because they don't have the money to buy it, and for other reasons, such as it's not a strategic parcel that's connected to any other open space or any other recreation land. So usually the towns don't exercise their right because it's not in their best interest and it's not strategic for them.
So, based on that, I guess we should have a vote to see if we feel like let me get the wording correct here.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
We should, no, I can't spit it out.
You'd be looking for a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen that the town not exercise its right of first refusal to purchase the property, if that's the vote. If you do recommend that they purchase the property, then you would be voting to recommend that they do exercise their right of first refusal to purchase the property.
Yeah. So we could have two votes, though. We might want to have a vote to see if we want to wait until the next meeting to have that vote, and vote tonight as to whether we want to do a site visit and see the site. And if that's a negative vote, we don't want to go see the site, then I would say we should vote on whether we want to do to recommend to the town that they not, I'm not going to get the wording right. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's do that. Let's, what are your thoughts on whether we want to visit the site, if it's worthwhile or not? We don't really have to have a vote on that. We can probably just to have a discussion.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll share the mic. So, looking at the first, like the Perry Street location, they have like all these like wetland buffer zone like lines. Like I don't even know how they're gonna be able to build. So.
They'll find a way to build.
I'm sure. With enough money, it can be achieved.
Yep. Yeah, we generally allow for a building to be outside the 50-foot buffer. So, they have to come before us, but typically it would be something that we would allow work within part of the buffer zone.
Brendan.
And they'll create their boundary lines so that they can, manage to do that.
Sure.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Brandon, do you have like the overlay for if there's streams or any of?
I have what's available on the town's GIS website, so I can't guarantee that I...
If you go to the other side, Brendan, under layers.
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to move the Zoom stuff. The other side?
Yeah, it's on the opposite side from where you are. It's on the left side as I'm looking at.
Oh, there it is, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go.
And then you go down to state.
Right. Thank you. I'm usually using my own bespoke GIS program, sorry. Let me see here. FEMA flood map. Let's just check out FEMA flood map. Okay, so let's see. Blue is the 100-year flood zone. Okay. See if there's any pending FEMA. Nope. Which, by the way, a pending FEMA map, if it's made public, can be used under the Wetlands Protection Act anyway. Natural heritage, any endangered species here? Nope. No vernal pools, no certified vernal pools anyway, and they don't have any mapped potential vernal pools. It doesn't mean that they're not there. It's just that the state hasn't picked up on it. Outstanding resource waters. No. What do the soils look like? Okay. So here's what you need to know about soils. You got all these orange lines which bleed into the orange lines with the parcels. I didn't design it. The numbers, the higher the number, the drier the soil. The lower the number, the wetter the soil. All right, so this 51A is probably, it's a hydric soil, it's a wetland soil. That makes sense because there's a little brook right here.
Is that a perennial stream?
Let's look at the USGS map to try to figure that out. So let me, get out of the way, zoom. Let's go to the base maps and let's go to USA topo maps and yep, so that is Green Brook right there.
What is that?
Is that the speaker thing you were talking about? Is it because you need to mute your computer?
Yeah, I think you need to be muted if you're not.
Oh, yeah, he's not muted.
Yeah. What am I doing?
I got you.
Thank you.
You're good. That's okay.
Please stand by.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry to make it complicated.
Give me that was easy.
So it has some resource area, obviously, running through it. Looks like a perennial stream that goes through it.
Mr. Betancourt wanted to say something too.
Is there any strategic value to the town to own that property?
Sitting
in
here
your
tonight,
opinion?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would feel the same.
Yeah. It probably doesn't, but it's hard to say. You know? Mr. Betancourt, did you want to come forward, please?
We had Goddard Consultant, Chris Betancourt, from Sherwood Farms.
Thanks.
We had Goddard Consultant for the past several years working with us on this, and they did an extensive research on the streams that go through under Perry Street and across Orange Street, and they've all been determined to be perennial. They dry up completely for 4 months out of the year. I'm sorry, intermittent. And he wrote me a letter to that effect. I believe he was going to share that if he hasn't already. I think that Scott is listening in.
Yeah, I am on the meeting here, Chris.
Okay, so if you want to...
Yeah, and that's something that when we come before the board with any proposed work within that zone would be part of a pertinent application. But there is documentation of intermittent status of Greenbrook.
So to further discuss this, I don't know if you want to put it back to that other screen up Perry Street.
What are the aerial?
The larger view showing the parcels that we're moving from Chapter 61.
But this.
Yeah,
this one right
that
here?
one will work.
Yep.
So if I can point with my finger, with the town's permission, we put in infiltration basin at the bottom of where that clearing is at the base of Perry Street. We are in the process of breaking off that piece of property to give it to the town when the town accepts the road in the future, so that they have full access to it. And we had an agreement that we're doing the first 1,000 feet of the road, and that we were going to be able to yield 4 house lots coming down the road. With that infiltration basin at the bottom, we had to do a retreat lot, which goes just under lot 17 into the back and has a longer driveway. What ended up happening with the lot at the bottom and that lot is you're looking at lot 15, 16, and 13. Those in the back is part of 275 acres. So the lot lines actually crossed over 3 of these parcels here. So in order for us to go for an A&R lot, we had to remove a portion of lot 16 and a portion of lot 15 and a portion of lot 13. To facilitate that, And we just came to the determination that because once we round the corner, there's 2 more buildable house lots on 16 and 1 on 15 close to the road, that it would make sense to just pull those entire parcels out right now. And that's the reason for it. So anything that you're considering resource in the back is going to remain open space. There's no reason to use it. We'll be breaking off the A&R lots along Perry Street, and the rest of it will be unused, unusable and unused. So I don't know if there's anything more that I can describe to help you guys make your decision or whatnot.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm not ready, personally, I'm not ready to make a decision on it tonight, but if you folks want to make a decision on it tonight, then it's, you know, we can have a discussion, we can vote as to whether we want to make a decision on it.
I mean, we can wait, however, like you said, that they can just go ahead and move forward without us, so.
Yep, and if they do, they do.
Okay, so you want me to make a motion for us to wait until our next meeting?
I don't think we're going to vote on it.
Okay.
What would make a difference to you, Mark? What would help you make a decision?
I wouldn't mind having a discussion with other boards in town as to, I mean, as this area gets more and more developed with housing, he just explained to us another 5 lots in this area here. Is there something, is there a recreational field or a small community park or something like that which might be beneficial to that area of the town that they don't have now? So I wouldn't mind having an opportunity to discuss, you know, what the town's needs are and whether they have any interest in it or not before.
How do you do that?
Good question. I have no idea. No, I mean, I'd probably come up to the municipal center and talk to the town administrator.
Which funds would these lots be purchased with? Like which town funds?
That's a good question.
Because reading the economic report from last year didn't seem too likely that we would be able to purchase these, even if we really wanted to. That's just my concern, is if we spent time looking into it, I'm not sure that we'll be able to even, it's a little bit of a dismal outlook for my liking, but I don't know. I don't want you to anyone to waste their time looking into it if it's not feasible.
All right. So let's then vote.
Okay. To make, not to exercise the right of...
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I will make a motion to recommend not to exercise the right of refusal for the map 269 lot 15, map 269 lot 16 on Perry Street, and also for map 266 lot 13 for Southwest Main Street.
For clarification, that means we're not proposing the town buy the property. Correct. I'll second that.
All right. Motion has been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to recommend to the town that they not exercise their right of first refusal. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
No vote from me.
By her.
Thanks.
Left.
This?
Yeah. That was the one that... Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I could point of clarification, Town Council Kate Connery just made me aware that it's actually 120 days that the Select Board has to act on this, not 45. I believe the 45 days is when they refer it to the planning board. The planning board, I think, has 45 days to respond, so that was it. So that was a clarification. It's 120 days, so they have more time, so just for future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving along, next up, item 3, new business, 6:30 PM, NOI DEP number, well, no DEP number yet, public hearing for notice of intent, Town of Douglas Highway Department, 17 Main Street, stormwater improvements.
I believe we got an email for that DP.
We did.
It's 1133, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, we do have a DEP number, it's 143-1133. I will read the meeting notice. At 285 Southeast Main Street, 17 Main Street. All right. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516. It's a legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Mass Wetland Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on August 17th at 6:30 PM for a notice of intent filed by the Town of Douglas Highway Department located at 56 Main Street. For work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, the proposed work involves installation of a new extended detention basin at 17 Main Street in Douglas. The basin is designed to capture and treat stormwater runoff from an existing drainage system and meet the requirements of the Total Maximum Daily Load, TMDL, for the Blackstone River watershed. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center at 29 Depot Street in Douglas, or pursuant to the Governor's March 29th, 2023 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the Conservation Commission agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 257. Filed August 7th, 2026. Well, this meeting is now open. Someone here representing the town?
Yes. Hi, my name is Nick Cristofori with Comprehensive Environmental, or CEI. So the way I usually kind of do these is I usually present them pretty quickly and kind of hit the highlights, and then I open it up for questions, and my intent is sort of that it gets to what you guys are most interested in. So CEI, we're a civil and environmental engineering company. We've been working with the town of Douglas now for about 8 years or so, mostly on stormwater and MS4 compliance related items. And amongst the plethora of MS4 requirements that the town has to do, some of you are probably familiar with at least some of them, is communities that have a water body with a phosphorus or a nitrogen impairment, in this case the Blackstone River, have to construct a demonstration project to basically showcase to the public what a stormwater treatment device looks like, what is the purpose, what does it do, and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit different compared to like a typical BMP project where you're saying, okay, I need to meet X pounds of phosphorus removal or treat certain storm events. This one, it needs to be a demonstration project that you can show to the people and say, this is what we did. So in order to get to this current location, what we kind of did is we took a look at the town's drainage system in an effort to find out where are the best locations to do something. Because, you know, at the face of things, it sounds very easy. You got to do a demonstration project somewhere within the watershed, right? But you really don't want to just do it anywhere, because if the water's just going to the woods and not getting to the Blackstone River, you're not really improving on things very much. So from there, okay, well, now we need to look at the town's drainage system and figure out what's actually going to the waters. And, I mean, you're the town of Douglas. You don't really have a lot of massive trunk lines that are discharging volumes of water. You have a couple catch basins which go to an outfall and go out. So now you've taken your watershed that's this big, and now you're in an area that's this big. Now from there, you need to get down to where is a town parcel that you can actually do something on. So now you're this big, and so on and so forth. So what we ended up coming up with as our best location, and it's a decent location. It's not my favorite location for doing some of these for other communities, but we're limited as to where we can do things. So this particular location, this is located adjacent to there's a cemetery right there, and there, at least last time I was there was like an abandoned building. Is it still there, or did it get knocked down?
It's down.
Okay.
Got taken down.
Okay. So right now, there is a pipe which captures runoff from, I want to say it's 2 or 3 catch basins within Main Street, and it shoots it out to the wetland area along Centerville Brook. And from there, it goes out to the Blackstone River. So we did a couple test pits in the area, and we did not have great infiltration rates. It was like 1.5 inches an hour. It was kind of damp. So we were really kind of limited as to what we could do at this location. But I mean, unfortunately, we really couldn't come up with anything too much better. The other component is, again, kind of getting back to that item that you're not trying to hit a storm target or pollutant removal target. You're just trying to build something to showcase that the town is being proactive. In talking with Adam at DPW, he's interested in building it himself using in-house money, which will save the town money. Obviously, we're not going to go out to bid. But it can't be anything crazy complicated, and, you know, from both a constructability standpoint and from a cost standpoint. So I guess anyways, to kind of make a long story short, that's sort of the background. So what we ended up coming up with is basically, we call it an extended detention basin. It's sort of like a hybrid infiltration basin / detention basin, because it will infiltrate. It's just not going to infiltrate a lot. It's only like 1.5 inches an hour filtration rate. But basically what we're looking at doing is we're looking at taking that untreated discharge right now, cutting back the pipe, constructing like a plunge pool with a sediment forebay for sediment removal. There will be a flow-through berm to allow the stormwater to get into the basin itself. And from there, it'll be the flow will be regulated by an outlet control structure with some different orifices and so on and so forth. There's emergency overflow built in. And it's just really just trying to improve upon what currently right now is an untreated discharge. It will now get some treatment. So when we originally filed, we were showing that we were only disturbing buffer zone, about 8,355 square feet. Right now, the existing, we're not proposing any tree clearing. It's just wooded. It's kind of overgrown, so we'll just be clearing. Since filing our initial application, it came to our attention that we're within, like, I think we're within 20 feet of the riverfront area. We just clipped it. And so it's like 705 square feet of riverfront area within it as well, which we have since amended WPA Form 3 as well as a narrative. We did a quick alternatives analysis to kind of showcase that, you know, what we're doing is the best we're going to get, because if we locate everything outside resource area or buffer zones, it's going to be like a quarter the size of what it is now, and it's not going to be worth it. So that's kind of the project. And, you know, again, I try not to go into crazy detail on these things. I'd rather just present the project and open it up to questions.
Okay, thank you. So there aren't any other resource areas other than the riverfront area?
Correct.
That's being
Correct.
impacted?
Correct. Yep. We delineated the wetlands in the field, and we're staying outside the wetlands.
We received a letter from DEP today. They had some comments about this. Can you refer to those for us, please?
Yep. So we did get comments back from DEP. One thing was that they also noted the fact that we're within riverfront area. So what I intend to do is, actually, let me back up. When we submitted the updated form and narrative to the town on, I think it was August 4th, we copied in DEP as well to who we were told was going to be the reviewer, but then I guess did not end up being the reviewer. So what I would propose to do is, I wanted to have this meeting tonight to see if there was any additional feedback from the board, but what I would propose to do is, if there is none at the end of the meeting, I would follow up with the reviewer with the updated materials and a response to their questions. And their question essentially said that, it looks like you're in riverfront, check it out. If you're within riverfront, you got to submit a form, narrative, and an alternatives analysis, all of which has been done, and like I said, I just need to send it to them, and I don't think it'll be an issue. They asked for a revised site plan depicting the mean annual high water line, but it's located 175 feet away from our BMP. It's like it can barely even show up on the plans, so I would propose we don't have to delineate something that's very, very far away from the projects. I guess that would be up to them to make that determination. They recommended that we confirm that the area directly below is not a jurisdictional wetland area. We went and flagged it in the field, so we know it's wetland area. It's been flagged. Should be all set. We had a certified wetland scientist do the delineation on it. They asked about test pits. They said we didn't. They said we only did one test pit that wasn't shown on the plans, but we did 2 test pits, and both of them are shown on the plan. So I would just follow up with them with the locations, probably just highlight them, show these are the locations of the test pits, highlight that the infiltration rate was slow, it was about 1.5 inches an hour, and then once you start backing off your factor of safeties from a design standpoint, you're like maybe half that. Hence is kind of why we're doing infiltration / detention, which is not my choice, but they asked about some sizing, but I can get them whatever they want for that if they so choose to do it. Some reviewers and some reviewers, no matter what, just want everything, all sizing done 100%, and then some just understanding that you're kind of just retrofitting. You're taking an untreated discharge that you don't have to do anything with and doing something with.
Right.
So something's better than nothing. So.
Do you know what the groundwater level is there?
Yeah, it was shallow. Where I want to say it was like 3 feet below. I mean, we're only excavating like a foot, I think, in some locations because we've tried to maintain the minimum separation. 2? Okay.
2 feet?
We're excavating 2 feet, or it's just a 2 feet separation? I don't remember.
Separation.
Okay. Then that'll be it. Yeah, so we're 3 feet down. We're excavating a foot, and that gives us the 2.
So how are you treating the bottom of the detention basin?
How are we constructing it?
Constructing it and treating it? How are you finishing it?
It would just be loam. We're basically just kind of scraping it off and making it. It looks very similar, honestly, to what it is now. We weren't looking at doing like an amended soil or anything like that. We could, but we're trying to really keep it kind of simple for DEP or for DPW to construct.
Mm-hmm. So raising the floor with a material that does infiltrate would not be of benefit?
I mean, ultimately, it still goes into the same material. I mean, you could excavate down to groundwater, I guess, and then build it back up, but it's still gonna be limited by that same material.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, we looked at trying to, we're trying to meet minimum separation, but I mean, because if we pick it up, if we raise the floor anymore, we're losing storage. Because we're reusing the existing pipe, again, to save cost, we can only play with the elevation so much because we're limited by what's there right now.
Any questions from commission members?
Why? I guess I'm a little confused. I understand the purpose of why you're doing it. You've explained that, but what if we don't do anything?
Well, technically, you're in non-compliance, and I will say that, you know, there are many of my communities that I work with have not done anything, not built anything, but technically, you're in non-compliance, and they could come down and give you a consent order. EPA has issued consent orders to communities for other MS4-related things. I have never seen them do it for not constructing a BMP, but this is kind of one of the more recent requirements. It's EPA. They typically are running several years behind on doing things. They're still issuing consent orders a lot of times on regulations that are required, like in 2008.
So does this put the town, if they did this, does this put the town in compliance with all the requirements right now so there'd be no threat?
I wouldn't say all requirements, but I would say this particular requirement. And when I was a junior engineer, a wise older guy that I worked with told me never say all, and I always remember that.
Any comments from anybody in the audience?
I have one question, if I could. Sarah Guyman, Cemetery Commission. Does this impact the cemetery at all? It looks like it's pretty close. I can see the flagpole on there. So would this have any impacts to the cemetery itself?
It's close. I mean, we do. The only thing that you may see is see that kind of gravel access road we have. It's kind of hatched towards the left. There's an existing road there already, so we proposed kind of just an access road off the back. To my knowledge, there's absolutely nothing there right now.
Okay.
Like I said, we're almost not even really changing the grading that much.
Because I know we did just do some brush removals in that area. So I was just curious if there was any impacts expected with water or whatnot, where the plots would be.
I do not anticipate any impacts.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was going to be one of my questions, but I didn't think it was like our zone, so.
Yes and no.
Never hurts to ask the question.
Because it might have an issue with, it might play into access, right? Oh, there's graves there, now we have to go around, so it's not completely out of your jurisdiction. But it's not like a direct question. It's kind of like more of a impact avoidance and minimization question.
So this would filter water before it hits like the Centerville Brook. Is that and that brook feeds into our pond that gives our town water?
It goes to the Blackstone. That's all I know.
The Blackstone is definitely an impaired waterway.
Yes, pick something.
Centerville Brook, I think, does follow along Route 16 and goes past this site where we do have wells off of Rydell Road. So it may not, the brook, it may not, be impacted at all, or may not impact those wells at all, depending on the depth of the wells, but it does pass through that area.
It looks like it more or less parallels the road.
Yep.
Yeah. Eventually going, I'm guessing, to the Mumford, which eventually goes to the Blackstone. May I ask a question?
No. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay, let me bring it back. This is your drawing, right?
I was not the lead on this, nor was I the lead on the application, but I am pretty familiar with it.
Could you walk the commission through the nuts and bolts and how this is going to work? Just by pointing to it or explaining.
Can I go up there?
Yeah, where's the water going?
Sure.
And how is it going to get treated? Where's it coming from? Where's it going?
So this is Main Street up here. There is catch basin, another catch basin, and I believe another catch basin or two further up the road where I think it forks off over down here. So right now, water comes down here, hits this catch basin. You can see this, hopefully this D, and the existing pipe daylights, somewhere down here, I think. So again, it's untreated. It gets no treatment at all. So basically, what we're looking at doing is taking this existing pipe and cutting it back And this embankment, which slopes a little bit further down, we're trying to pull it back as much as we can just to try and buy as much storage as we can. Again, we're constrained by the elevation of the existing pipe and groundwater and these wetland lines down here. We get the wetland flags here. So we're really kind of shoehorned in, so we're trying to do it as best we can. So what's going to happen now is we'll cut the pipe back a little bit. It'll hit this kind of like riprap plunge pool. And the intent is that it gives an area for sediment to settle out. We have a maintenance road here so we can get down here, hopefully, and make it a little bit easier to scoop the sediment out rather than having to dig up the whole basin. Once it hits this basin, it's not a float, it's not a regular berm where it goes over the top. It actually flows through and kind of filters through into the actual basin itself. You can see the contours here, so we're only going down to elevation 543, and I think elevation can't tell from the plan. I mean, this one's elevation 534, and this is 543. So we're digging like a foot. That's it. We're doing a berm on the backside so that we get our storage volume rather than just going out into the wetlands. And then for control, we have our outlet control structure with a series of different elevations which let this thing go through in a controlled manner. If it gets too full, it goes out the top and goes in. And if it gets really full, if we have an emergency overflow, that it will crest over, flow over into the wetlands where it is now. We have erosion control stabilization at the end, erosion control stabilization on the emergency overflow, and that's that.
May I ask another question? A follow-up.
Sure.
Okay, so I see that the outlet structure's at elevation 544, and you said that the invert of the bottom of the basin's at 543, right?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, the outlet control structure rim right here, elevation 544. So you're basically going to have a foot of head, right?
Not gonna be a lot, right?
Yeah, what's the total volume do you think is going to be retained?
We are, let me go look, I think we're treating like 97% of the water quality volume, something like that.
Water quality volume. To what year storm?
Let me see if I have it here. I might be confusing this with another project. 75% of the 1-inch water quality storm is the static.
Yeah. So you're treating at least a half inch?
Yes.
First flush? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's a small watershed, and I don't have the exact number right in front of me, but I want to say it's like a quarter acre or a half acre, something like that, of impervious.
Okay.
I want to say it's a quarter. It's pretty small.
Where on this plan did you perform the two test bits you're talking about?
Can you go to the previous page?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit easier. The existing conditions.
Mm-hmm.
We did them, this is one and this.
Okay. Per the stormwater handbook, you're supposed to do them in the footprint of the actual practice. Can you verify that they were done in the footprint?
2 is, well, if you go to the one you were on before, I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oops, too far.
This is 2, and 1 is here.
Okay, I'll buy that. And you have the soil log showing the
Yes.
depth?
Yeah, we didn't include them on the plans, but we do have the logs.
And you said it was, so you did an actual in situ infiltration, you didn't just use Ralls rates?
We used it in situ, correct.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Did you take soil consistency into consideration at all? Well, I'm sorry, you did in situ. So I'm going back to Oak Street Solar, okay, where they use Ralls rates, which is a standardized infiltration rate based on soil texture, but it doesn't take soil consistency into consideration. and they had very hard-packed soil up there. And I would expect something similar over here, too. So that's good to know. What's the, like, sandy loam, isn't that, what's the rolls rate on that off the top of my head? I forget, but you're using 1 inch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I can't help with here really is the actual, nuts and bolts of the design and the engineering, and did they get the water quality, volume, and all that stuff right? So I guess the question is there any other engineer taking a second look at this, just to make sure?
Are you having...
If I could, through the chair, the discussion with Adam was to have you review this.
And I can do a lot of it, but I cannot do any kind of calculations on the HydroCAD models or anything like that requires a PE stamp to give a court-worthy opinion on. And nobody wants to hear from me on whether or not their engineering calculations were right or wrong when I don't have that stamp anyway.
Why would we want to hire a second engineer to?
Well, I'm not an engineer.
No, I'm sorry. I just mean in general. Why do we need to hire someone to verify what the engineer we hired did?
You don't have to. Just to make sure that everybody didn't make a silly mistake. That's all.
I think it's just the I's and the T's, because we had such a rough time with the solar. Just to make sure that everything's more copacetic, right?
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just putting it out there just to make sure, because I can't. I'm just saying because I can't do that part of it.
I personally feel if the town hired a consultant to design this, we've done our job. I don't think we hire a second consultant to confirm the first consultant did it right. I think that's a waste of the town's money. That may be irrelevant to this board, but that's just my opinion on that subject, I think.
So from prior, we ended up having a bunch of peer reviews for all the other the big projects, and there was discrepancies there was not just like a small little discrepancy, there was kind of big ones, and from what one engineer, and then we ended up having a couple of big changes to with the catch basins and everything else, right?
We did.
Yep.
But I also agree with Brendan, if we're hiring the engineer, the town is hiring the person to design it, then we're relying on their expertise.
Okay.
And we shouldn't be checking on that for a town project. If it's a private developer, then I would say, yes, that's a good use of 53G money, is to have peer review of that. But in this case, I don't feel it's necessary. May I ask a question? So how far is the outlet from the current pipe from the wetland? And what is the new distance of the outlet from the wetland edge?
Well, let's see. The existing outlet is... it looks like we're cutting it back about 20 feet from the existing location. It is, per the plans, it looks like it's about 30, maybe more like 40 feet from the existing wetlands. And
the new outlet.
The new outfall, keep in mind though, it's discharging treated, is closer, because it's gone through the BMP at that point. But the new outfall would be probably like 15 feet, something like that, 12 feet, pretty close.
Right, but the pipe that comes directly from the street has been cut off by 20 feet,
Correct.
you're saying?
Correct, yes, exactly.
So, but the work area is right up against the wetland edge, is it not?
Correct.
And you couldn't figure out a way to have that grading not be as close to the wetland edge, is that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a trade-off on storage volume. I mean, we can push it back, but it's diminishing returns that, each foot of horizontal you lose, you're probably losing 5% of your storage volume, something like that. So it starts adding up. We actually originally we actually ended up resizing it or reconfiguring a little bit, because originally we had it a little bit closer to where we thought there wasn't wetlands, and then we went out and flagged it. We were closer than we thought we were. And we are in the riverfront very, very little bit, but it's almost just exclusively just grading at the end of the outfall.
Right. Any other questions? Anyone in the audience have any questions? I think that we should probably continue this based upon the questions on the DEP and the fact that we need to get back to DEP with some responses. So I would say that, we need to continue this to our next meeting.
There's no DP number yet.
Yes, there is.
Oh, they
Just got it on Friday.
Just got it, yeah.
11:33.
So, yeah, so Jen, I think I'll reach out and send them the information, see if they have any other comments, and then, we'll kind of go from there. I mean, I was coming down anyway, so I figured I'd come down and at least get everyone on the same page and get up in front of everyone.
Make a motion to continue this?
Yep, make a motion to continue this for Town of Douglas / Highway 17 Main Street Stormwater Improvement Map, non-applicable, to our next meeting of September 21st.
Second.
Thank you for your time.
Motion's been made and seconded to continue the public hearing to September 21st. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Garofalo, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next up, 6:30 PM, item 4, public hearing, notice of intent, New Sherburne LLC, 285 Southeast Main Street, Lot 3.1, single-family home, map 266, Lot 3.1.
How's it going?
Good.
Is there a certain spot you guys would like me to set up with the graphic flag?
Right there is good. Yep.
Grab some others for you.
Being that this is a, that we don't have the DEP number for this yet, therefore, we're not going to be able to vote on it tonight. We're going to kind of just get the presentation, and we'll have a few questions to ask maybe, and then we're going to probably move on because we've got a lot of other people here tonight, so.
Have some smaller grounds for the commissions. Like, pass those around. How's it going, everyone? My name is Curtis Weisgerber. I'm here from Goddard Consulting on behalf of 285 Southeast Main Street and the applicant Second Court. So as you all know, we filed a notice of intent for the property 285 Southeast Main Street. So as you can see here, the majority of the front portion of the property is encompassed in bordering vegetated wetland. The one exception for that is this small strip of upland that runs from the start of Southeast Main Street. It splits the wetlands here, continues to split the wetlands in the front portion of the site until it leads to a larger upland portion of the site. So for the proposed project that we have here, we have a proposed construction of a single-family house in this large upland portion of the area. We also have a proposed access driveway that runs from Southeast Main Street to the usable upland in the back area. Here for you guys. So, as you can tell here, sorry about that. So the single-family house that we have in this white upland portion of the site is not within the 25-foot no disturb zone. It's not within the 50-foot no build zone. is not within the 100-foot buffer zone and is not within any portion of the wetlands. This proposed black access drive we have here, it is within the 25-foot no disturb zone. It is within the 50-foot no build zone. It is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And it also alters approximately 2,000 square feet of wetlands right at the beginning portion of the site running off of South Main Street. So I will say that we do have a mitigation, wetland replication plan in place to mitigate that 2,000 square feet of wetland alteration. So it's not on this graphic, but I'll flip this over. It is, I believe you guys have a smaller copy of it in there, but the wetland replication area is along this finger of wetland right here. It's approximately 5,070 square feet. I believe it will be planted with New England native wetland seed mix. I believe there's 6 red maples, 6 gray birches, 8 northern arrowwoods, 8 high bush blueberries, and 8 more plants that I cannot.
Silky dogwood.
Silky dogwood, that's the one I was thinking of. 8 silky dogwood.
I was hoping you were going to get them all.
I know, you're hard. But so that's approximately 5,070 square feet in this area. Over double the size of the wetland alterations. But if anybody has any questions right now, I'd be happy to try and answer them. We also have our applicant, Chris Betancourt, here if you'd like to add anything.
Hello, my name is Chris Betancourt. I'm the owner of this property. I was walking in the woods inadvertently before we decided on our Lot 3, Lot 4, and then this one, Lot 3A, and found this upland over here. And through walking out here, the formations of stones, it looked like there was something out there at one point in time. And we did some borings at the roadway and realized that this has all been filled in at one point in time. And the upland portion followed a road that went all the way back, and it looked like it was a long time ago, but it actually continues past the house like that. And when the leaves are down off the trees, you can actually see the imprint of the upland of this gravel road that used to be, used for something in the past. I don't know how far it went. I didn't travel any further. I was with some people that were interested in buying it, and we noticed this large upland area, and it seemed to be a natural landscape. But what I think we have here is just an abandoned roadway that might be over 100 years old. I don't know. So we're trying to just reutilize that property. This is a beautiful area. It's about, I think it's 6 acres, and it's completely secluded from everywhere else. And it's kind of a sought-after piece of property for a residential area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I also would like to add just one more thing. There's no other area on the site, as you can tell, to access the upland that would impact less than 2,000 square feet of wetlands. So if you went from this corner, you'd get more impact, this corner more impact, and the same thing with trying to access it from any other property next to it.
Okay. We are going to want to have the opportunity to review the wetland edge flags, to being that we're within 25 feet for a lot of the area of the driveway coming in, and also to review that crossing area where we're proposing to fill wetlands. Yeah, I think we're going to want to have that opportunity to review that.
You want to look at it yourself?
No, I'm not.
I'm already retained for this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have any comments on the plan then, Brandon?
Question to Mr. Weisberger. So where is the wetland replication area going to go?
The wetland replication area is going to go right along this finger area right here. There's a smaller graphic in there, if you can see it, but it comes off of this wetland ring.
So where there's a smaller, because I want to know where the wetland replication area is outlined and where the details for that are.
Yes, of course. You mind if I- Yes, sir. here. Okay. So here's Southeast Main Street, here's the disturbance that we have, and then this is the wetland area. We have that 5,070 square feet.
Okay. Is there a grading plan for that?
I'm not sure about a grading plan.
I don't even recommend one, Mr. Chairman. They're useless.
Is there a clearing plan? Is it vegetated, or would trees have to be removed?
Yeah, they have to basically take down the forest to save the trees, because that's the way wetlands law works. When it comes to creating wetland replication areas, I don't like showing grades because they end up being wrong. And what you need to do is you need to have a wetland or a soil scientist out there to do what we call bottom inspection. So after the big yellow machines dig it out, you have an inspection to make sure that they have reached the hydric soil line, preferably like an extra foot, because they have to put soil back. So ultimately my recommendation is going to be that the condition that a qualified wetland scientist is retained to oversee the wetland replication process. I have a set of standard conditions that I use for that. Where there are inspections at certain times, there's a bottom inspection to make sure that they dug deep enough by looking at the soil morphological characteristics, make sure that they're in the water table, well into the water table, that the correct soil is being used, that they're replacing the soils with wetland soils and not upland soils, and check on the plants, that the correct plants have come in, the correct species, in the correct numbers, and that all those plants are healthy enough to be put into the wetland. And if there's any substitutions, which happens more often than you think, because the places where they buy them from, the nurseries, say, oh, we're out of that particular species. So instead of a silky dogwood, can I give you some spice bush instead? Right, so that would have to get reviewed by the commission or the agent before being switched out. That kind of thing. And then of course, there's the 2 years of the 2 growing seasons of inspections, et cetera, et cetera. But other than that, I can agree, because I've been out to the site. I was out to the site with Mr. Weisberger and Tom Schutz sometime in June or early July already. I have no issue with the wetland boundary.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any other means of ingress or egress to this site. I did see the historical cart path, probably some kind of farmer's path that goes through there. I saw that myself. So, they have to thread the needle through here. They couldn't quite thread it 100% because one spot near the road is very narrow. But otherwise, the best place for the house is definitely in the back. So, I'm good with the application. With the condition that some standard wetland replication area conditions be put into it.
Brandon, did I hear you say before, are you involved with this project?
I am. So Mr. Betancourt, a long time ago, and Jen can confirm this, instead of doing all these lots that he's doing, because this is something that's going to be ongoing, instead of doing them one by one, he just deposited a single $10,000 fee for 53G to handle anything that comes in regarding this whole development that I draw from, regardless of where it is. And then when that gets depleted, we'll ask for a refill. So it's basically, I'm automatic on this one.
So there's a 53G account set up for Mr. Betancourt's properties with ecosystems.
So you're not under contract with him?
Correct. No, I'm on the contract with the town that he has to pay for.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. I would like to do a site visit on this one, so we should schedule a site visit. If anybody wants to attend it, welcome to do that. This Saturday?
I can't this Saturday.
Okay.
I have something going on at some time, but I forget what time. I'm just checking.
Do you want to attend it?
I do, but I can't do this Saturday.
We don't have to set it tonight. We can arrange it through email back and forth or whatever.
At least two. We close on Fridays.
I can have an answer when I get home.
Yeah. I don't know my schedule either. I don't want to commit to a Saturday and we were supposed to go away or something like that. So,
I think I can do this Saturday. It just depends on timing.
yeah, Jim can't though, so.
Sorry.
You know, and I don't know if it's Saturday's the only weekend day or, you can't do them during the week, right? Right.
I can do it on Saturday if we do it later in the day.
If later in the day.
Not early in the morning. Anytime other than early in the morning I can do.
What do you consider early in the morning, 6?
6 to 9, I'm
Oh,
up.
6 to 9.
After that, I'm available.
Okay.
9 to 10.
I mean, if you...
That's perfect.
Majority of you guys, can make it, that's fine. You can show me the pictures when you come back.
All right. Well, we'll set something up and get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll take a motion to oh, sorry, comment. Yes.
Yeah, hi, Mark Ackerman and Amy Ackerman were abutters to this property, and we'd like to submit a letter of opposition to this proposed site. And I'd like to read from that letter if I could.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just come forward and speak into a microphone if you could, please. Again, state your name and address.
Mark Ackerman, Amy Ackerman, 294 Southeast Main Street, across the street from 285 Plot. The proposed site plan appears to use a small area of unprotected wetlands for driveway construction. Because this area borders protected wetlands, we are concerned that the plan may not adequately protect the wetland resources area and buffer zone, particularly near the road, the entrance, or the proposed entrance. We ask the committee to carefully review the wetlands delineation survey and the wetland boundaries shown on the maps. We are concerned that the lot entrance and proposed driveway may be too wide and too close to wetlands to provide adequate buffer. We are also concerned that the construction vehicles, grading, and related activities could damage sensitive areas and disturb wildlife during site preparation and buildings. Since the construction has begun on Southeast Main Street on lots 273, 279, 283, 287, we have seen more displaced wildlife on our property, including bears, deer, coyotes, and barred owls. The coyotes come right into our yard, actually. As a longtime resident across the street, we have seen firsthand the abundance of wildlife extensively used in this area to reach nearby water resources. We are concerned of increased human activity, tree removal, light pollution, and construction noises could further disrupt wildlife and deter animals from accessing those water resources. Significant tree removal along the various lots across Southeast Main Street have left these animals with limited access to navigate freely. Additionally, clearing on the proposed lot would reduce foliage, increase heat surrounding areas, and further disturb wetlands habitat. We also identified an area where trees have been removed on the lot which appear to have been in protected wetlands area, which I think these gentlemen spoke of. It's unclear whether this was approved or not. This was a day after we received the letter, so it was a little discerning to us. Lastly, we're also concerned about the width of Southeast Main Street in this area, the safety implications of adding another driveway across the point at this location. We respectfully ask that the committee to consider whether this access point could create additional risks for residents, drivers, and pedestrians. In closing, my wife and I, we respectfully ask whether a wildlife impact study has been completed, and if not, we would like to request that one be required as a condition of approval. We believe the cumulative construction in this area has had and will continue to have long-term negative impact on the local wildlife and biodiversity. For these reasons, we oppose the proposed construction and believe the lot should remain undisturbed and protected. As a 27-year resident of 294 Southeast Main Street, we have seen firsthand the migration of animals across our property and how these wetlands support local wildlife and help preserve the character of the area. We sincerely ask the committee to carefully consider the impacts of this proposed and take the necessary steps to protect the wetlands and surrounding habitat. And that's all.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. So we were going to continue this?
To leave this letter
Yep.
as...
This has to get continued anyways.
Yeah, we have to continue this anyway.
I'm gonna make a motion. So I'm going to make a motion just to continue this to our next meeting, September 21st. Sorry. Where is it? For New Sherborne LLC 2, 85 South East Main Street, Lot 3.1, map 266, Lot 3.1.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to continue this public hearing till September 21st. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Roland, aye.
Rick Gordon, aye.
Mark Mongeum, aye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Being that the next two items, 5 and 6, are both requested to be continued, let's just skip over those and go to enforcement orders because we got a lot of
Yes.
people waiting on those. So we'll next come to 0 Manchog Street, 77 Mumford Street enforcement order.
Do you
Have an
want-
update on that? So, at our last meeting here together, one of the things we talked about was, that we would look into whether we thought that there was a possibility of being able to swap land, because you own some land in Douglas that hasn't been impacted, and the land in Douglas that has been impacted, maybe there could be a swap. But I don't think that's going to be able to happen, because in Massachusetts, removing protected conservation land or parkland from its protected status requires a strict legal process governed by Article 97 of the state constitution. Converting this land for other uses mandates a 2/3 vote in both branches of the state legislature and fulfillment of strict no net loss replacement standards under the Public Lands Preservation Act. So that sounds to me like too difficult of a challenge for us to be able to overcome. I don't think it's something that we can do.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and I raised this when I was at the last meeting, hearing the facts for the first time, but I believe I said at the last meeting as well, if it's conservation land, which it is, but I went back and I looked at the deed to confirm, if it's conservation land, the legislature is not going to agree to take it out for the reason that there's an encroachment on it. They only will agree to take land out of, first of all, you have to have the select board vote, and then you've got to have a town meeting vote. But land that is put into conservation land, which this was, according to the deed, under Chapter 40, Section 8C, is supposed to remain in conservation land unless there is a valid municipal purpose, not because somebody either intentionally or accidentally encroached on it. If that were the case, then people could just put stuff wherever they wanted. So it could have been an innocent mistake, but it's not something that I would recommend the town try to get taken out of conservation land. by a town meeting vote and then seeking all the effort that it takes to petition the legislature, because they're not going to grant it. The other issue, though, which I believe came up a little bit at the last meeting, is that there are, and I'll defer to Brandon on the conservation of the wetlands issues, but if there are impacts on resource areas or the buffer zone, then regardless of who owns it, that has to be remedied. So those things would have, so it's almost like it would be a complete waste of time to try to swap ownership of the land. And I know I'm the one that threw it out before I knew exactly what the property was we're talking about. I believe you also mentioned that with your property partly in Sutton, partly in Douglas, some of the violations, and I may be getting the facts wrong, but some of the violations might have been put there before you purchased the property. That still doesn't resolve it. There is case law. It's a really old case. I believe it's either Jen Corelli versus Worcester or Worcester versus Jen Corelli, which says that as long as fill, and I think some of the violations here involve fill, whether it's a porch, patio,
Patio, I think, right? Yeah.
that's considered a continuing violation. There is a statute of limitations under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 91, that says the commission has to take action to enforce within 2 years of a violation. But fill is a continuing violation, and as soon as the commission is aware of it.
In BVW, that is.
And BVW.
Yeah,
okay.
or any resource area, really.
Yeah.
But if it's buffer zone, that's what
Yeah. So, right, buffer zone, 2 years is just for the buffer zone, and there are other wetlands. It's not just the buffer zone here, it's the resource areas themselves that are at issue. So the commission's orders, which I have not seen the specific restoration that was required, if it was, I'm not sure.
We have not required anything yet.
Okay, then that would be my recommendation, is the commission decide what needs to be done based on the conservation agent's recommendations.
I think we were looking for a pair-to-pair.
Because again, it doesn't, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, we were looking for a pair-to-pair so that we can have somebody else look at the delineation and look it over. We had requested that at the last meeting.
And you may want to get a surveyor or someone to, because it's your property, and the town's not going to pay me to do that work. But you might want to look into exactly where the encroachments are, because maybe you don't have to remove the entire.
Right. That's what we're hoping from the commission, is that we have time. So I think we were here 3 weeks ago, just to have more time, because we did try to hire people, but like people were on vacation, people are backlog. So I just think we just would like that recommendation to be able to have somebody come out on our behalf.
And if that's acceptable to the commission, then you would be able to know exactly where things need to be removed and what the impacts are on the wetlands and the buffer zone.
Right. We as a town, through Brandon, have done our wetland delineation, and we have made the determination that work is within the buffer, within the wetland even in some areas. We can give you some time to be able to check that delineation, but in the process, we're going to be requiring that you provide us with a plan that shows how you're going to restore that area.
That's reasonable.
So, I don't know, do we typically set up a time as to when we want them to get back to us?
Yes, otherwise things never get done. There always should be a deadline.
Can we present it to you guys when it is done, maybe email it, and then we can reconvene? Like, we're not delaying it intentionally. It's just we have to get somebody, I don't know if you guys have like a list of people in the area that know what you guys require, or, but yeah, maybe we can present it.
I don't know.
And then come back.
I'm not going to mention.
No, I know. Yes, Jed?
On my website, the conservation website, there is a list of approved consultants. Okay. And anytime you want to keep the board informed, always see
Who are you?
I'm Jennifer Kuchar.
Right.
I'm on the Douglas website. I'm the principal for the department. Okay.
So
Jen is really helpful.
Okay.
Does too much work, but she's really helpful.
Okay. So is it, I know you guys have some changes, the conservation agent is no longer Sarah?
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So is it back to being Brendan? Yeah. Okay, because you directed me to, okay, I'm just clarifying
No,
who to talk to.
It is what it is.
It's
No, it is.
it's confusing, yes.
Okay, all right.
Through the chair, like, so Brandon said that we should set a time limit or whatever. What would you consider, like, for them to at least hire somebody?
It
Like,
just,
timeframe wise?
the thing that worries me is the people's schedule. So, like I said, we don't want a delay. We want this to kind of be clear, especially before the winter comes. So if we can get somebody and then maybe give Brandon the plan, and then we can reconvene from there, if that makes sense. If somebody does a peer-to-peer and see what needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you have two things you're going to want to do. You're going to want to hire somebody that can review the wetland if you have concerns that the wetland edge as flagged by our consultant is incorrect. And at the same time, you should be working on a restoration plan to show how you're going to remove some of the items that have been built within the buffer zone, and how you're going to restore that.
There's individuals that can look at it, review it, and then come up with a plan.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll
Yes.
just try to
And
hire.
Jen can give you the names of some of those
Right, and Mr. Chairman,
consultants.
it really involves, in my opinion, removing everything from the town of Douglas land, which is all within either the BVW, the buffer zone, or the riverfront area. So it all needs to come off of town of Douglas owned land.
Right.
Can we check that out first before we make that determination? Because we still own land.
No, because it's conservation land, we really don't have a say in the matter.
Even the land
We'll
we
have to-
own?
Pardon?
Even the land that we own in Douglas too is conservation?
No, the land that you own in Douglas it's your land in Douglas. That's not impacted by this. But the land, well, it might be within a buffer zone. It might be within the buffer zone, so it may be impacted. But
Right, all I was saying is that the land owned by the town of Douglas,
right,
everything on it needs to come off and a restoration plan made for that.
Right.
The rest of it, for their property that they own, that's more negotiable, I suppose, but anything that's on town of Douglas land is not negotiable.
Why would it need to come off though if it's not affecting the
Because it's the
wetland?
conservation land.
Because it's owned by the town of Douglas, not by the Alexanders.
So if it's not affecting the wetland itself, it doesn't
It
matter?
doesn't matter, it is owned by the town of Douglas, period, and there should have never been any work or activities performed on that property, period. Sorry to be so harsh, but we
It is
gotta
harsh.
get down to it.
Well, I don't think but it doesn't matter whether it's a town or it's a neighbor.
Correct.
It's not owned by you guys, unfortunately, so it's not your decision to make. It's whoever owns that property. I think that's the same thing, just whether it's a town or another,
Go to another, you're right.
yeah, another abutter. It's somebody else's property, unfortunately.
Some of it goes through our, so it's a confusing property. I don't know if.
I'm not arguing, I'm just
Right.
kind of reinforcing what Brandon's saying. I think it's unfortunate, but
Yeah, that's all we have. So if we can do a peer-to-peer review and then figure out a plan, at least, if we have time for that, that's what I would be requesting.
well, I mean,
Because you guys have
you've
done.
heard from Brandon, you've heard from me, Brendan. I mean, the land that's in Douglas that had been impacted has to be restored. So you can start working on that restoration plan. That's what we most care about.
Okay. I know
And,
you guys have had peer-to-peers where they have not agreed. So I'm not saying that the person that we hire won't agree with Brandon, but at least if we at least have that time, present the plan to you guys, and then go from there. That's all.
Yes, you have to present the plan to us
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Before really anything gets done, we
Okay.
should see a restoration
Okay.
plan.
All right.
And that has to be approved, and then you can start any work.
So unfortunately, the restoration plan has to be done. There's no way around that.
Right, we understand that, yeah.
And I know it goes right through the middle.
so you're proposing to locate another surveyor to come in and verify the property lines that have been identified? Is
No, I just want them to review his work,
Oh,
what he's
okay.
already done. Yeah.
that- Got it,
The
I
peer
don't-
reviewer is getting peer reviewed,
got it.
which is fine. It's kind of an unusual situation because that's usually done through an application. But I suppose it could be done informally through the enforcement order. I've never actually done that before.
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to understand why they would want to do it, because it's on town land. It's not, where the line is isn't really impacting them.
I agree, Mr. Chairman. I agree with that. It's town-owned property. It doesn't matter if it's the wetland line is right or wrong.
Nope, it doesn't.
But all of it is not in the town and owned by Douglas. Some of this property is owned by us as well.
If I may, Mr. Chair, my
That's what I'm
understanding was
saying.
that they want to review or have surveyed their property in Sutton, not the Douglas.
No, because we own land in Douglas,
There's
too.
no question that the conservation land is owned by the town of Douglas, and that there's
That's
no
what you
point
guys
in
are
surveying.
telling us, so we would go with that. We don't know on our own.
The non-conservation portion that's in Douglas or Sutton or wherever it is, that's yours, and you can measure it, do whatever you want with it. But the Douglas conservation land is owned by Douglas and has to be restored.
And you're basing that off the survey that Brandon did?
No, I'm just basic ownership rights.
Because we didn't have...
If someone owns a property, somebody else can't build on it.
Right, but we didn't have a survey prior to Brandon coming out and doing the survey. That's what I'm saying. So everything is based off of one person. So what I'm asking is just to have it reviewed and then go with the plan.
You're welcome to have it reviewed.
But I think so. Brandon didn't just to be extra clear, because I know there's a lot going on. But Brandon didn't do the property survey, like property lines or anything like that. It was just the wetland flag delineation, which I think
He was out before that, right?
Excuse me?
You were out moving around before you did the delineation?
Well, I was investigating,
Oh, okay.
right? I was investigating the potential violation, and then the town of Douglas gave me the green light to go and delineate the wetlands on the town of Douglas land. So I don't really see what the value is added by having the Alexanders peer review my wetland line on town of Douglas land. It's useless tax.
so. The property lines were established and they're part of public record, and they're not changing. But it sounds like if you wanted to do the wetland delineation peer review for the land that you own in both Sutton and Douglas, then that's something it seems like it's totally understandable and you could do. But what Brandon's saying is the conservation land in Douglas that the Conservation Commission owns, that it might just not be worth your money to hire somebody to review that part of the land, because regardless, it would have to be.
So my thing is, even if somebody comes out and they give us a restoration plan, they would be using the same information that he's providing, right?
Not if you hired somebody to review, but it doesn't really, from what it sounds like, it doesn't really matter about the portion that the Conservation Commission owns, because it needs to be completely restored regardless. So the wetland flags wouldn't really matter in that area.
So should we not hire anybody? We would have to have
It's just a matter of like, there's the land that the commission owns that in my opinion at least, it wouldn't be worth time and money to have reviewed, because it needs to be restored completely. So it would make sense to have, it could make sense to have the wetland flags checked, peer reviewed, if you'd like to.
You said it would or it wouldn't?
It would for the property you own, but it wouldn't make sense for the Conservation Commission owned property.
Right, and through the chair, one thing that we haven't talked about is they're asking about having a peer review of my line on town of Douglas land. You have no obligation to allow them to have somebody go on the town of Douglas land. It's your land. You have to give them permission to have anybody go on their land, on your land, rather, to begin with.
So none of this encroaches on our land, is what you're saying?
I did not place any flags on Alexander land, to my knowledge. I followed the stakes in the field, and none of my flags went onto Alexander property, to my knowledge.
Jen, can we give them a copy of a past restoration plan, such as for Potter Road, as an example of what we required on another project that required an enforcement order?
Make that arrangement tomorrow.
But it still doesn't absolve their requirement to hire a professional to come up with that plan.
Understood.
And I recommend that you amend the enforcement order to add what restoration is required, where it's required, and what date the plan needs to be in by. For discussion.
I think that is a little aggressive, seeing that we've already...
I think we're past that, Mr. Chairman.
I think we've went to people and they have their timelines. So as I said, we're not dragging our feet on this. We would just like the time to be able to present it to you guys, whether that's in an email, whatever, and then come back and present it to you guys after the person has finished their thing. Because we're going to do what you guys are asking. We just want to be able to present it when it's completed. That's it.
Well, and we require that you present it to us when it's completed, but as Brandon said, we have the ability to request it be completed in a certain time frame.
Right.
And that's what we're going to discuss right now is when do we want a restoration plan to be presented to us? Is it 2 months? Is it 6 weeks? I'm not sure. That's what we're going to have a discussion about right now as to when we feel it's appropriate to have this information back to us. It's a pretty significant encroachment.
We learned that after.
So, I guess, Brandon, how long do you think is fair? If is 2 months a fair time frame to get a plan back based upon, how busy people are? And
it is, but you should also take into consideration how much time you've given them already.
You gave us 3 weeks from the last time we were here. And we've actually been proactive.
So let's look at the calendar, right? Let's look at the conservation calendar. All right, let me go to the calendar.
So October 5th is one of the dates that we meet on.
There's the calendar. Here we go, conservation meeting schedule.
So when is the first time we were here?
The 20th of July.
October, so it's August
3 weeks
17 right
ago.
now. We have dates on September 21, October 5, October 19.
So what was today's date? October 20th.
So it's 60 days, basically, for them to hire someone to do whatever checking they're doing, come up with at least the initial design of restoration, all of that. My opinion is that's pretty quick nowadays with the status of contractors and engineers and how busy everybody is. But
we've had somebody tell us that they were 2 months out, like we've been active, and we have emails to prove that.
Well, but I do think if we pick a date, whatever the date is, if you guys can prove that you're making an effort, we can always extend it. But if we don't give a date, then it defeats the purpose.
So I would like to, what you just said, based on that, I think October 19th is the date that we should pick to...
So that way you guys have time, one, to interview, get your whatever, and then once you guys sign, I don't know if they normally sign a contract or not, saying that they're going to do the work or whatever for the restoration, you can let us know.
Could we have them come back at October 19th meeting just to give us an update as to where they're at, not necessarily have a whole restoration plan done? If they're saying the contractors are 2 months out and that's 2 months away, that way the contractor's not coming to the site and then they come and show up and don't have a restoration plan, and it just keeps happening. So at least we have a checkpoint, and then maybe have the restoration plan within a month from then. So by the November 23rd meeting, or is that too late?
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree too.
I think that if we do October 19th, you guys should have someone already hired. If they can't do the work because you've hired them, however, that they're just backed up or whatever, that's fine, but I'm sure you guys can like email Brandon, let him know what's going on, or say, hey, we interviewed, I don't know, 3 people or whatever. The earliest one that we can get in is not until November 1st or whatever, due to just everything going on, then that would be different. But I think we need to have, like, if we don't put our foot down, I'm not trying to, I know this, I feel really bad, I do. Like, it stinks, but like, we've given everyone else so many chances, and we just end up pushing everything back, and it doesn't work that well for us if we do not give a deadline.
We only can do what we can.
I understand.
So we're saying October 19th for the plan.
Yep. And in the meantime, if something's different than that or changes, you can always let Brandon know.
Just to be clear.
I would like to have an update in 1 month and then a plan in 2 months.
So September 21st, an update.
Can we email the update so we don't come here for 2 hours?
Sure.
Okay.
So
And maybe get his
if
email.
you guys could do an update by, what's it have to be, that Thursday prior to the 21st?
That doesn't make sense.
The 21st is our next meeting.
September 17th was the material deadline.
Okay, so September 17th, so you can email that, September 17th to let us know where you guys stand, and then the restoration plan by October 19th.
So I just have a question. So if we're coming up with a plan, but it already seems like you guys have your mind made up, then what's the point of the plan?
Because you're going to show us, how you're going to restore that area. So what you're going to remove, patio stones, earthwork that you've done, how it's going to be graded, and what you're going to be planting back in that area to restore it to what it originally was.
Even if it was done before we got there?
Yes, so
doesn't matter.
Fortunately, when you buy the house, and it really stinks, like, you assume all responsibilities, whatever was done prior. So unfortunately, that's what happens. So like, if you go and you sell the house to...
And all this is the way it is, it'll become somebody else's problem.
Exactly. But if you don't disclose that information, that becomes a whole another separate issue, but that's basically what happens is when you buy a house, you have to do your own research and stuff, your own due diligence, which stinks because we know most people, we just buy houses and...
I do think Mark made a offer, though, of trying to give an example of another property that went through a similar situation that could maybe help you guys determine maybe what you're thinking right now is it worth this investment, or is it worth just...
Selling the house?
Yeah, whatever. That's up to you guys, of course, but at least it's something to start with that I think the town was offering.
And the list of recommended contractors or engineers that's on the website as well. So that's 2 resources.
It's in our benefit that this work gets done. So we will help you through this process so that it happens. We're not here to be like just...
How does it benefit you guys, this property? How does it benefit the town?
Because it's town land that has been disturbed and used by the Alexanders, so we want it to be back as town land and conservation land.
Mr. Chair, what I was saying earlier, this Chapter 40, Section 8C is the statute that requires conservation commissions when they own property, which they own this Mashinsky Conservation Area, they are obligated to maintain it and take care of it. So that's why it's a benefit to them to get it fixed, to get it back to the way it was, now that they've discovered the violations.
So another question I have, because it wasn't maintained by the town of Douglas, moving forward, does somebody come mow it, clean it up, trees fall down, do we call the town? Like, how does the town manage the property moving forward if they own it?
It's town operations.
Well, we maintain it as conservation land, so that may mean that we don't do anything to the land.
Gotcha.
So let me make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, so I recommend giving a little bit of specificity on what the restoration plan should entail, instead of just saying, give us a restoration plan, so I can write it in the enforcement order.
So my question is, if we go on the website and we find an individual who has done work with you guys before, I feel like that would be reasonable to come with the plan and then go from there?
I don't recommend doing that. I recommend that the commission sets clear goals and boundaries for the restoration in order to preserve your interests.
Again, I think we want to work with you guys. We've been willing to work with you guys from the beginning. I feel like that's where.
So when you
we're not
say
trying to
that,
work
I
against
mean,
you guys.
obviously, I kind of went through a list of things that had been done that we would want to restore. So we want to have anything that's been added to the site removed.
Okay.
We would want to have grades restored, so any fill that's been imported or placed, any stumps that have been put in a windrow or whatever should be removed from the site.
Sorry, Mark, when you say the site, just for clarity, is it their whole property, or is it just the conservation?
Just the conservation.
Just the
Okay.
conservation land within the town of Douglas.
Great.
Etc. removed from conservation land. Okay, so that's the removal. Next phase would be planting plan.
Correct, a planting plan.
Yeah.
If it's necessary, do we even know if that's necessary at this point
We are making it necessary.
to plant?
Whatever the land has been disturbed, the planting plan may be just grassing, it may be trees, it may be other vegetation, but planting is planting anything, so.
Which would be native to the area.
So, yes, there'll definitely need to be a planting plan.
Before we get a plan?
Before what?
We're making the decision before we get a restoration plan.
That's what we want to be included as part of your restoration plan that you have an engineer or a consultant create.
So he's just outlining right now, like, what should be included in the
What is
plan,
part
just
of
so
that
that you can
plan.
talk about it with the.
Respectfully, we've dealt with Brendan before in Sutton, and there's like a whole list of stuff that even in Sutton wasn't reasonable. So I'm just trying to protect the fact that we've already been on the Sutton side of this, and we've had like a whole list of stuff that were not even necessary. And that's respectfully saying that I'm just afraid that some things that are going to be requested that may not even be necessary, because it happened in Sutton with the same consultant.
So,
Respectfully.
Excuse me, Mark.
Yep. Through the chair, just need to, we hit our 2-hour mark, so I'd like to make a motion to continue for another 30 minutes.
I'll second.
motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to continue the meeting for another 30 minutes.
Jim
Roll call vote.
Forney.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. So we're not telling you what the extent of that planting plan is. We're just saying that a planting plan will be needed as part of the restoration plan.
And is that determined?
It's up to your consultant to
Okay.
determine
Okay.
what the planting plan is and what is.
So they'll come up with a planting plan, and they'll say, you know,
Okay.
12 of this, one of this, one of that. You come to us.
And tell you
we'll
what
go-
they
What they said, we'll have the whole plan so we can
Okay.
review it, and we might say, oh, instead of 12, you only need to have 6 of these
Okay.
instead, or whatever.
Is it best if we bring them the next time that we come in October or whatever?
I can't hear
Is
you.
it better to bring them in person or?
The consultant? Or?
Yeah.
Yes, It would probably, it would be advisable that they attend the meeting that you're presenting that restoration plan at.
So that way, if we have any questions, more technical stuff, and you're not sure, they can just kind of answer that for you.
Okay, so I recommend that Vice Chairman Foran come up with some language for a motion.
All right, so I'll make a motion. Hold on.
I'll give you the outline.
Thanks.
Restoration to include removal of all fill material, stumps, structures, and the creation of a planting plan from all areas owned by the town of Douglas, AKA the Mozinski Conservation Land.
We talked about the removal and then the planting. What about the restoration kind of in between?
Well, that's it. There's the removal of the stuff that shouldn't be there. So you basically bring everything back to the original grade, and then you plant trees and shrubs and grass, maybe some wildflowers, and then let it go. Let nature do its thing.
Okay.
Yep. You thought it was more complicated?
No, I just, trying to be black and white, it's, to me, if you remove a stump, you don't want to leave a hole there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you restore it, then you plant it. That's what my head was at.
Well, maybe there's something in there in the motion saying bringing the land back to its original grade, whatever it may be. That sound good?
Yeah, that's where I was at.
Okay.
What is the original grade? We could be talking about the 1800s here. Like, what is the original grade? I'm not sure if this land has already been disturbed before we move in, or like how far are we talking back, the original grade, to when?
So your wetland scientists will be able to go back, so they'll be able to go back to, like, they have maps prior for so many certain years or whatever, so they'll be able to see before the pool was built.
Okay.
And before, I mean, obviously that's way before you moved in, but they're going to do their research and figure out all that, right? Am I correct?
So that's a good point. To the Alexander's best ability, to be agreed on ultimately by the Conservation Commission.
That seems reasonable.
I think that's the best we can do. I don't think it's going to be that difficult to do, really. It's not like they got 10 feet of fill there. There is a berm, but it's not like they got 10 feet of fill. And it's been filled incrementally over the last 100 years, This is all pretty recent stuff. I have dealt with those.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, if I may, I've had properties that have had to get restored, and the wetland scientists, because that's a fair and reasonable question, how far back do you go? Wetland scientists can look at the property and determine when the new stuff was put in. I find it amazing that they can look and figure that out, but they can. And to your question, which the chair already addressed, but about Conservation Commissions, what they do to maintain properties, they don't usually do anything. If a tree falls, you leave it there because it provides habitat for animals. There's no mowing. You just leave it in its natural state. So whoever you hire, and the town does have a good list, they can't recommend anybody, but they can tell you people that have done work in town and have been approved. They'll be able to look at the property and figure out what's new and what needs to come out and what's probably been there for years.
All right, so I'll make, is it okay? Okay, so I'll make a recommendation
it's a motion, really.
Make a motion for 0 Manchog 77 Mumford enforcement order for removal, let's see,
Amendment.
What?
Enforcement order amendment.
Enforcement amendment order for removal, fill, stump structures, and creating a planning plan for all areas also known for the town of Douglas, AKA McKinsky's, with an update by September 17th, and bringing the land back to the natural, to the Alexander's best ability, to be agreed by us by the conservation, and to have the final plan by October 19th. Did I miss anything?
I think you got it all. It wasn't exactly in order, but you got it all.
All right.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan. I'm not going to
Repeat all that?
Roll call vote.
Jim Forney.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco.
Mark Mungem.
What was the vote, Mike? I heard your name, but I didn't hear yay or nay. Pardon?
Are you voting yes or no?
Yes. Thank you. Am I passing it down?
Are we done?
When I lived in Grafton, there was a neighbor across the street. They bought the land. They didn't do their research. So what ended up, and they weren't allowed to use it. They were hoping to build a piece of, they wanted to build an apartment building or whatever across the street. And they didn't do their research and they couldn't use the land. So they bought a piece of property that was just land, but they didn't do their own due diligence to make sure that through the town that they could have built on it. So then they owned a piece of land that was
Is this in Massachusetts?
Yeah, it was in, Grafton.
That's the only place I've seen such strict.
Yeah, so, I mean, because the person that bought it didn't do their due diligence, and I'm not blaming you, I'm just kind of giving you an example, like, they were stuck with a piece of land that they bought, and they couldn't do anything with it, so.
Yeah, I know you guys mentioned that before, and I know we're done here, but we can go back all day, because if we didn't do permits and stuff, and we would have went against it, that wouldn't have been good for us either. If we would have went against the building department. That's the unfortunate.
All right, next up, South Street Enforcement Order.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, have a good night.
Just a quick update. I did stick my head in, talk to Jen last week.
Jim, you'll have to state your name and address again.
Jim Tassino, 14 West Street, GBI, Douglas, for the 200 South Street, Norton. I did stick my head in and try to update Jen last week. The McHugh Environmental is working on it. I thought he would have something today, but he did not return phone calls today, so he's working on our plan of the site for you folks. I did request the original citations only because the secretary at the clerk of court's office keeps requesting them when I drop them off. She wants the originals. She says she doesn't want copies. So if you have the originals, I can swing by the office tomorrow, the next day, and pick them up. And
originals of what?
The citations.
Yeah, those.
All those citations.
It just got sent back to me through the mail, so Jim, if you want to stop by tomorrow afternoon, I'll have it.
Oh, okay, perfect. And that's all I have to, I know you guys are tight for time. I don't, unless you got any specific questions.
No, I was going to say, if we have anything new to report on, and you just did. So you said McHugh is working on a plan.
So I will tell you, though, everybody, we've tried to petition some other folks, and everybody's 2, 3, 4. I don't know if how much luck those folks are going to have, but everybody is. And McHugh was on board even before.
Right.
He was on vacation for a couple of weeks, and I thought he had help, but I don't know if he's a one-man shop now, or
he is.
Is he now? Because he had help before.
I don't know.
Was his daughter helping him?
I have no idea.
No.
I've known Joe McHugh since the late 90s when he worked for Natural Resource Services, and I used to review his work as an employee of the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management. And I always thought that Mr. McHugh did good work, but I would like to get a little bit more specific, Mr. Chairman, as to what exactly he is doing right now. What is he working towards?
Good question.
Good question.
Do you know?
I did call him twice today. I thought I'd have a draft something just to hand out tonight. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just
Yes.
question? So it sounds like You're no longer arguing that there's an agricultural use here? Because, if I could just finish.
Sure.
Because the last time you were here, you said that it was an agricultural use, and you had tax returns, and I explained that that's not what is required to prove an ag use. You need receipts of commodities that were actually sold. So I guess I'm wondering the same thing. What is the plan that's being prepared to show? Just restoration of the whole property and no longer a claim that some of it is exempt?
So I did not, he's retaining an attorney to pursue his agricultural claim, but in the meantime, he wants to see what McHugh draws for a plan for the reclamation, because one might just be easier than the other, because there's an expense to pursuing either one of them.
Right.
So, McHugh, I did talk to him a couple times and meet him there twice. He had historical data he needed to look at. He needed to look at a bunch of things. He took some more soil samples. So I think right now that he's going to make a plan. I think he's got to balance that on what the legal costs are going to be. But in all honesty, I'm just trying to help the guy out because I know him and I was on this commission before. Either way, he's probably not going to be able to be a farmer anymore because the cease and desist has just about completely eliminated his ability to farm. But those are all different things the attorney will definitely...
I have a second question.
Sure.
Okay.
You also mentioned the district court and that you need originals, so does that mean that you're appealing the fines? Or that
Yes, as we've gotten, not to interrupt you, but I want to get back on track. Not to interrupt you, but every time we get a bundle from the sheriff's office, we have gotten them over there thus far within the 21 days. We haven't got any tickets dated after July 12th. I checked this morning, which is citation number 3029. So, obviously, we all can agree it's from the day he receives them that his 21 days starts, not the day, like if you wrote it and the sheriff didn't deliver it.
So, again, my question
Yes.
and he's not your client. I know you're representing him in some capacity.
No, Ms.
You're not-
Friend.
Can I just finish?
Yeah.
You're not an attorney, right?
No.
All right, so my question is the property owner appealing the fines?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
That's it. Any other questions? Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I tried to call you today because we should discuss this.
Okay.
And whether it should go. If they're appealing, we can now have an executive session.
Okay.
Because my advice was going to be, you guys need to appeal.
Okay.
And if they are, great, but that's not going to get us towards restoration. All the district court's going to do is impose the fines or not impose them. So, and that's all. I can't say anything more than that without an executive session, but they've now threatened litigation, so that's something to think about.
Okay.
When do we do the executive session?
We'd have to post it, you have to have 48 hours notice and at a regularly scheduled meeting, because you can't...
Oh, it has to be at a regular, so it'll have to be the 21st.
If you were to post something within like 48 hours from right now, it would have to be an emergency, and this isn't an emergency.
Right.
But it's at the 6:30 start time, we would do it down.
Put it right at the beginning, yeah.
6:30 to 7.
Put it on an agenda, and we would go behind closed doors for that part of the agenda.
That's why I asked, because he was being very unclear. He kept saying he asked for originals, and then when I asked the question, he went on and on about dates, and so I just wanted to get to the point of my question, which was, are you appealing, or is the client appealing? And he is, so...
But it's not something where we have to do an executive session meeting sooner than our next scheduled meeting.
He also didn't indicate whether he has a court date, which I can call the court and find out. So no, we don't have to hurry up and do it, but it would probably be a good idea to do it as soon as possible.
So we can just set it for our next
I think we have
meeting.
to have it be our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is September 21st. We would have to do that. So I would recommend that we do.
Okay. Yep. I think. Yeah.
Well,
goodbye, go home.
we have one more.
Oh, we have one more enforcement?
Order that you might be involved. Which one is it?
I think so.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. Under old business, We have a public hearing continued for George and Sandra Kuipers, which we do not have an enforcement order on. But
How long is
They
this? been-
requested the continuance.
they did. But we can still discuss it, even though they requested a continuance, or can we not
Is
discuss it?
this a public meeting or a public hearing? Which one is it again?
Number 6.
Number 6,
But if they request a continuance and you grant it,
Yeah, this is for 20 Smith Hill. This is a public hearing, so I don't recommend.
No, you-
I didn't remember that it was I'm sorry. I didn't remember it was an NOI.
Yeah, Manchog, 77 Mumford South Street, and I thought there was one more, but...
No, Lakeshore is done.
Okay, that's the one. Oh my goodness, it's been going on for so long, it's still in my mind that it's active.
All right, let's do the number 9.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, now you can go.
Do you want me?
All right, number 9, request for certificate of compliance, DP number 143-1030, Joseph and Pamela Peroni, 148 Shore Road, map 299, lot 7.14153. We didn't have a review of this, right, Brandon? You didn't review it.
No, I didn't. This all came in while Sarah was
So this was when Sarah was here? So I went to the site this morning, and I met with Joe Peroni, and we looked at, that's the wrong pictures, we looked at what had been done there. We have the plan in our folders. The letter from Margaret Bacon saying that there weren't any substantial changes from the original plan. Trying to find it here while I'm talking, and I can't. Aha. Here it is. So I did go out and take a look at it this morning. I took some pictures and looked at the plan, and I'm in agreement with Margaret Bacon that everything was built very close to or in accordance with the plan. Everything is stabilized. It's extremely well maintained.
It is.
And I don't have any problem at all with recommending that we give a certificate of compliance for this work.
And we have the letter from the engineer.
Yes.
So that's perfect. All right, I'm okay with that.
You guys trust me?
Yes, I do.
In my review?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm really asking a lot here.
Yeah. That's why we voted you in again.
All right, so I'll make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP 143-1030, 148 Shore Road, map 299, lot 4.153.
Okay, motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Kate to approve the certificate of compliance. Roll call vote.
Jim Farr, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Like a little Zoom reaction.
I know.
Jen. Hi, Jen.
I didn't know you
We'll
were
have that
here.
ready for you tomorrow.
My
Thank
apologies.
you.
Les Stevens.
Patiently.
Next up,
8 minutes.
you got 8 minutes. All right, next up, request for certificate of compliance, DEP number 143-0750, Leslie Stevens, Isabella Drive, Maple Heights Estates, map 191, lot 22. As with Shore Road, we didn't have our agent, was not able to review this. I met with Les and Matt.
Sean.
Sean, terrible with names, I'm sorry, at the site on Saturday morning. They, showed me around and showed me what had been done. and what kind of condition it was in. I stayed a little bit after they left and took a few pictures. And my concern when I was there with Les and Sean was that we have an as-built, and it showed the road and it showed the new grades, but it didn't show the wetland buffer lines, and it really didn't show, usually the plans that we get for as-builts, they show the proposed grades in gray and the actual grades, the as-built grades in red, and the plan doesn't show that. It just shows what was built and not what was proposed. So that, concerned me a little bit, and that I really didn't know how to compare it to, what was proposed in the NOI. So I had Jen find the original plan for the subdivision and what was proposed, which Jen brought with me here, so I'm going to pass that around. In looking at, my quick look at the NOI plan, I think that what was built was almost exactly what was proposed. So I don't have any problem with, do you want to take a look? The site is stabilized, and I don't have any problem with approving a certificate of compliance.
Okay.
I was going to if I didn't see that plan, but after seeing the plan, I'm pretty good with it, or I am good with it.
Let me know when you guys are all set.
I had pictures. Do you have pictures in your folder from what I took today?
Oh, okay. That's what I was looking at. This.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. Okay, stuff like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking way up here. Oh, pretty colors.
Cool.
You guys good?
Yeah. There's like a,
So the road is a really short subdivision road.
Yeah.
And there's like catch basins on either side as you go down towards the end. The first couple catch basins in, they drain directly to the right, towards the wetland on the right, and then in the middle of the cul-de-sac is a big depression, so it's like a little detention area, and then that one drains out to the right as well. That one, the outlet is closest to the wetland. It's all rip-wrapped at the end. It's all vegetated around it. There's no erosion, out at the end of the pipe. So, it's showing evidence that it's working fine, but not sending too much water out. Right, Sean?
Yes, and it has been tested during a bad storm, along with the catch basins, and they were opened after the storm.
Good.
All right.
What are those little things that look like slides in there?
in pictures?
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Which one?
Oh, maybe it's silk fence?
Slides. That is the end of the pipe. It's the pipe ends right here. It's the flared end section.
Got it.
I think it was like a slide down a mountain.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, why is it there?
Yeah, that's...
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I will make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP 1430750 for Maple Heights Estates, map 191, lot 22.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to approve the certificate of compliance for Isabella Road. Roll call vote.
Jim Vaughan, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Ricco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
You're all set.
Thank you.
All right, I'll have that ready tomorrow.
You got another signature thing for me?
me to.
Yeah, are we extending again, or what are you doing, sir?
Yeah, we have to do the continuations, so whatever, 5 more minutes?
All right, I'll make a motion to extend 15 more minutes maximum. Second. No, second.
Motion's made and seconded. Jim made the motion, Mike made the second, to extend the meeting another 15 minutes. Roll call vote.
Sorry.
Brennan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
I wanted to say no.
Where am I? All right, going back to, we got to do meeting minutes too, don't we? Item number 5, 6:30 PM, NOI DEP number 143-112, public hearing continued. Notice of intent for Christopher Betancourt, 0 Perry Street for Fire Road, map 269, lot 13 and 14. Applicant has requested a continuance to October 19th, 2026. Want to make a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Before we do, could I ask a question about that?
You sure can.
I'm sorry, time's up.
Yeah, you pushed it, Jim. I'm not going to back down on this one. So, how is this Fire Road now connected to the other things we talked about tonight? Because it looks like it is.
It's, if I could through the chair, it still is connected, and actually this particular application has been continued. Come November, it'll be 2 years, Brendan.
Okay, so with that, well, is that from the type it was originally received or the last time we heard from them on progress?
Originally received.
Okay, so the regulation states 2 years from the time of last forward progress. Okay, so November 19 is 2 years, but we'd have to go back into the record to see the last time they actually came in to show that they were making progress. So once you hit that 2-year mark and they haven't made progress, you can then close the project. You can close it out without prejudice. Okay, just say it's denied, done because you haven't presented
any new information.
Any new information, basically. Lack of information. You can deny it for lack of information. Yeah. Without and it's really appeal proof at that point.
I could be wrong, but I think it was about 6 to 9 months ago that they were last in, and they were going to obtain, or they were looking into the ownership of the property.
Yeah.
Right.
It was in the winter.
Longer than that.
I thought it was like October of last year or something, but even so,
like
6 to 9 months, something like that.
Yeah, I remember that they had their lawyer with them.
Yes, yeah.
Matt Watsky was with them, so.
But, and maybe it's not relevant, but how is the Fire Road connected to the things we talked about tonight, his development tonight? It looks like it's connected.
Maybe in a far interior point that we don't even know about because he's got a lot of acreage.
Yeah.
I think actually the right of refusal in that parcel 13, that's like the mother parcel. So I think it comes off of there somewhere, which means it's in chapter land still, which is what he's trying to get it out of tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like land.
So do you want me to just, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to pass it.
Make a motion? All right, do you want me to make a motion to continue, sir? Chair? All right. All right, make a motion for NOI DEP 143-1112 for 0 Perry Street, Fire Road, map 269, lot 13 and 14, to move to October 19, 2026.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Kate to continue Christopher Betancourt, Fire Road, to October 19th. Roll call.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco. Aye or nay?
Mikey, an aye or an A?
Pardon? Yes
Aye
or no?
nay?
Aye. Okay.
Mark Mungemy. All right, 6:30 PM, NOI DP number 143-1129, public hearing continued on a notice of intent by George and Sandra Kuipers, 23 Smith Hill Way, for construction activities within a 100-foot buffer, map 148, lot 18. I recommend that we provide the continuance, but I do think that we maybe should send them a letter stating that, we first discussed this over the winter. We gave them till May to do a site visit. We did the site visit. It was requested that they provide a restoration plan, and we haven't received it, and I'd like to push them a little bit on that.
When did they request until September, not October?
September 21st, yeah, so for our next meeting. And then if we don't have anything, then we can do...
But I thought the NOI was there with restoration. Am I wrong about that, Brandon?
Say that again?
23 Smith Hill. Isn't this part of what they had to file to correct their issue? I think we're just waiting, I think you guys are just waiting to issue their order of conditions. We haven't had a chance to do that yet.
No.
Okay.
No, because they prepared a plan. Well, they were seeking an NOI for work done after the fact. And I know in the winter time, they said, we want you to see it when the plants are growing and there's vegetation and all that. And so we said, all right, we'll give you till May, we'll set up a site visit, and we'll look at it at that point, and then we'll decide, about the after the fact NOI. I went out and looked at it, and I had a real problem with the work that was done, and requested that they remove some of the wall. And so they were going to work on a plan to show that additional work, and we haven't received anything from them yet. So that's where we're at with that.
Did we set a deadline?
We didn't.
For that at all?
So we can extend it, and then if we get nowhere, then we can move forward to the unpleasantries.
This is true.
If everyone's in agreement with that. Does that sound fair or no?
Yeah, I just worry about getting into October if nothing happens by the next meeting.
Yeah, I understand Mr. Kuipers has not been well.
Oh, got it.
And that's part of the reason why it hasn't been
strike my last comment.
Moved forward.
I didn't know.
Yep.
But
same.
All right. So sorry, sir.
Yeah, obviously we want to continue it to September 21st, but that would mean that they would have to have something before us. Well, let's just continue to September 21st.
And go from there.
Go from there.
All right, I will make a motion to continue to September 21st for DP 143-1129, notice intent for 23 Smith Hill Way, construction activities in 100-foot buffer, map 148, lot 18.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to continue 23 Smith Hill Way to September 21st, 2026. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungemy. All right. Can we do meeting minutes for, I got 5 more minutes, at least do one of them?
Kate says no, sir.
Well,
I have read April 6th. I wasn't in attendance at that meeting, so I really can't vote on it. And I've also read the next one, April 27th. It looked like April 6th had already been redlined.
I had done that, and then I think we sent it out for everyone for review.
Yeah.
You've reviewed it and you're good with the red lines, then.
Yeah, it looked all made sense to me from what I saw on TV.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amended for conservation meeting minutes for Monday, April 6, 2026.
Second. Oh, Mike got me.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Mike Greco to approve the meeting minutes for Monday, April 6th. Roll call vote.
Jim Farr, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, no vote. Okay,
Did you say you did the 27th?
I did. Did the 27th and I started on the 18th, but I didn't get done. I didn't have any changes on the 27th. I thought it looked fine.
I was absent.
Well, it's up to Jim and Kate then.
I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I can skim through it real quick.
Jeopardy doesn't have a 4-minute song. I'm just giving you a hard time.
You can try to sing it for 4 minutes. I think I don't see anything that
All
I'm
right.
concerned with.
So I will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for Monday, April 27th, 2026.
A second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Kate to approve the meeting minutes for Monday, April 27th, 2026. Roll call vote.
Jim Farr, aye.
Brendan Doyle, abstain.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
So we'll make,
He wasn't there.
I know.
Okay.
I'm going to make a motion. Anything else, sir? Chair?
Anybody have anything else you want to discuss? Les, do you have anything for us?
Just hanging out?
You just enjoy our meetings so much you want to stick around?
I can give you the update on the 77 Mumford Road on the Sutton side real quick, tell you what they're doing.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you that during that time, but yes. So yes, tell us.
3-minute countdown.
So in Sutton, it's called 72 Main Street, and I have reviewed, after doing the wetland delineation and reviewing the area where they did the clearing and looking at the site plan that was created by existing grade, it's now clear to me that it's 99.9% of the work that was done was in Douglas. So I actually recommended that they lift the enforcement order in the Sutton, the last meeting, and they did not agree with me. Only because it reserves their right to basically pounce if and when they need to. They're just keeping it open to keep them honest, so to speak. So I said, that's fine, that makes sense to me, but it's 99.9% in Douglas. Yeah, so that's where Sutton is. This is the Douglas show for that one. Yeah.
On Douglas TV.
Yeah. Other than that, just glad to be here.
Glad that you're here.
Thank you for coming,
in the
Brendan.
game.
Thank you for helping us tonight.
Yep, no problem.
Jen, thank you for helping us tonight.
So Jen, do we get to see you every meeting now?
Oh, no, what did I say? One-time deal.
Well, you shone.
You realize
tonight, so
the conservation's not a one-time deal, right?
One-time deal.
Is this the first time you've ever?
To a conservation.
And the last?
Will you stop adding things into her head?
Well, I'm trying to not add work into her life.
Not go back tonight. Good job, everyone.
Anyone would like to make a
what
motion?
happened with the...
Does anyone want to make a
Yeah.
motion?
We're still on, so
Do we want to close?
we should want to make the motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn at 9:14.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan to adjourn. All those in favor?
Jim Farr and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Rowland, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.